You are listening to the Cattle Call podcast. This is the place where computer-aided design and drafting meets humor and practicality, with a touch of business acumen thrown in for fun. Jim and Rocco, the owners of Zentech Consultants, the premier U.S. technology consulting firm for architecture, engineering, construction, and manufacturing, discuss the fascinating world of CAD with some humor and some honesty. The Cattle Call podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cattle Call podcast with Jim and Rocco from Zentech Consultants. I am Jim, your obnoxiously loud host, and with me, as always, is my partner.
It's Rocco.
It's Rocco.
Or Rocock, as Jim had written in his script.
Hey, listen, this is a family-friendly show. Watch your mouth. All right, so I'm not the world's greatest typist, all right? I interspersed an O and a C, but it is pretty funny. And now I'm just going to call him that forever. See, you make fun of me, Rocco. You know what that means? It means I got to get you back by telling you the engineering joke of the week. All right, you ready?
Uh-oh.
Here we go. So two engineers bump into each other at the park, and one notices the other's brand new bike. He asks, "Hey, where'd you get such a cool new bike?" And the second engineer replies, "This beautiful blonde rode up to him and threw her bike down on the ground and took off all her clothes and threw them on the ground and said, 'You can take anything you want from me.'" And the first engineer goes, "Good call taking the bike. I doubt her clothes would have fit." There you go. There's your engineering joke of the week. Too funny. It's sad that I laugh at my own jokes. I shouldn't do it, but I do it anyway. All right, folks. So today, we want to dwell a little bit in the construction environment. In particular, I want to talk about Procore, project management software, but not in the way that you guys might think. I'm not going to talk about, reports and schedules and how do you work in Procore and blah, blah, blah. Instead, I want to talk about a concept called Procore Analytics. And it's a process of integrating all the Procore data that you guys use and create on a daily basis with the Microsoft Power BI solution to kind of turn your construction jobs into visual powerhouses instead of the endless, dry, tedious tables and forms that we're all used to dealing with. Now, look, don't get me wrong here. I'm not talking about building pretty reports with fancy fonts and animations on a dashboard and all that pointless crap that doesn't help us manage our projects at all. What I'm really talking about here is converting your costs and schedules, all right, and your KPIs and performance data into visual charts and graphs that update in real time. Essentially, we're talking about kind of replacing all of the reporting features and all of the time you spend searching for data and then copying, pasting it into Excel and other systems so that you can do your performance calculations or your scheduling, right? And instead, just having all of that information show in understandable visuals when you log into Procore, all right? Look, and the reason I want to talk about this is I did a live tech expo in Philly a few weeks back, and I showed this concept and what we're doing with it to a bunch of different project managers and VPs and so on for large general contractors, and every single one of them lost their mind over it. It's the most remarkable tool that I've seen in the construction management space in years. And I want to make sure that, all of our listeners out there at least know about it and are on board with the concept. So Rocco, in terms of the response to the Procore Analytics by our clients, does everyone give the reaction that I got at the live expo when we show it to them online?
Yeah, they do. And, I think there's like a, if the right term is like a yearning for real information, from within real data, and it's not easy to get, in a lot of our organizations. It's there, but it's somewhere within QuickBooks or somewhere within this Excel file or somewhere within these 350 files. And so when folks see how Procore Analytics work, they're just hugely impressed with it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. One of the things we all struggle with in that construction realm in particular is we have so much data that can help us, but finding that data and parsing through it to get to an answer, it's so time consuming. Half the time we just can't get there. So no, that's a great point. All right, so I guess the first thing that we should do is kind of talk about Power BI, right? And what it does, right? Basically, Microsoft has developed a system for converting what's called, business intelligence, hence the BI and the Power BI. You're converting the business intelligence from just about any data source, right? Like Rocco was saying, it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's QuoteWorks or QuickBooks or anything else, or Procore, and you're converting all of that data into visual commodities, all right, that are very easy for everyone to understand and get up-to-date information from, right? And it's going to do it without any need for them to install or learn any type of software, right? They no software. You're just going to essentially build your graphs and your charts and even maps in Power BI, and then you present them on a web page that anybody can read. It's 100% graphic. Instead of, running reports or trying to explain to your, CFO how to find, overall financial info in a program that you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for the 100th time, everything is right there on their screen, and it updates in close to real time. Power BI is built to build its display from just about any data source you can imagine, whether it's SQL database or an Access database, SharePoint list, Excel files, if that's what you're working with. And today we're talking about using Procore as that data source. And basically, Power BI, it's a data agnostic presentation tool for simplifying immense amounts of dry tabular data into very easy to understand graphics. And it's the hot new tool in the business world. And I'm sure that most of the folks listening have heard of Power BI, even if you're not sure what it is, right? It's just all anybody seems to talk about in the news nowadays, with good reason, surprisingly. But what most folks I think haven't realized is that you can integrate that Power BI functionality using all of your construction data, everything that you put in there every single day inside of Procore. You can, use that, right? At the end of the day, Procore is it's a giant database. That's what it is. It's just storing all of your costs and your timelines and your fees and so on for every one of your jobs, right? And Power BI is meant to read big databases and display it in an easy to understand format. So it's like this perfect match. They go together beautifully.
So, it's very affordable, Jim,
and
right?
It is, right? Yeah, absolutely. Power BI, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's very, very affordable. You don't have to really pay much at all, if anything, for this. Power BI, I guess, Rocco, let's do this, right? It hasn't, as far as I've seen anyway, it really hasn't made it, Power BI itself, to the mainstream construction world. How many people that you talk to are actually familiar with it, right? Versus how many folks do we kind of have to explain the concept of Power BI to?
I find that folks that are pretty technically savvy have familiarity with it, but we do have to explain it to a lot of folks, and it's not to put anybody down. I mean, it's deep technical. It's an involved package. I mean, it obviously integrates with all this data. So yeah, there's that, I mean, but that's why we do what we do, right? I mean, that's why we're supposed to be experts in this field and why folks come to us. So
yeah, fair enough. It's good that we can actually do what we say we do. That helps, right? So look, the idea is actually very simple, right? You take Power BI, which, like Rocco said, is very inexpensive, right? And honestly, you only need a license for it, and the license is like $30 a month. And you only need a license for it if you're the one who's actually building the visuals. So you take Power BI and you connect it to your Procore database. And then once that's done, you can build your visual reports that can show you quite literally anything that you want to see, right? And, do you need to know how far over budget or behind schedule you are on a given job? Not a problem. Do you need that same information cumulatively for all of your jobs? Done. All right. How about who's the most or least profitable subcontractor you worked with last year? Right. Or, what about your PM that brings their job in on time most often so you can assign him your best projects, right? What jobs have open safety issues, or which ones have the longest response times for their RFIs? These are all things that we can show very, very easily in charts and graphics that you can understand just by looking at it in Procore Analytics. I think the best part of this, though, is that all of that info is updating in real time, right? You're not looking at reports and items that are a week or two old because it takes forever to run them. As your bills are paid or change orders come in, right? Or something gets delayed on the field, that data instantly updates the graphics, right? So there's never a need to go looking, right, for the latest and greatest info. It's always right in front of you. You even have the ability to create in this format your own custom calculations and formulas and controls inside of Procore Analytics to get the info that's important to your company specifically, and not just the generic reporting. So look, do you guys normally need to calculate your over under, but then you have to compare it against your retainage so that you can see how much flexibility you have to adjust your budget line items, right? Every firm has their own detailed internal calculation processes, right? And information that you use to make your business decisions. And Power BI lets you build those custom calculations right from the native Procore data and then push those into simple visuals that are constantly updating as your job progresses. Rocco, we're certified Procore consultants and we do a lot of work in the Procore arena. What percentage would you say of that has been shifting towards the analytics space over the last year or so?
I think it's a good percentage. I mean, it's hard to pin down exactly, how many folks, because it's integrated with all the other work that we do. But it's definitely we're definitely seeing more and more folks with interest, and there's a need for this kind of data, a need for an easier way to pull that data. So folks are interested in it for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, on my side, on the tech side, even though not everybody goes that route and does it, but everybody at least wants to hear about this. So it's getting a lot of attention. All right, so let's take a quick break here. And in the next half of the show, I want to talk about the process of getting Procore Analytics up and running within your own firm and what it takes to get it customized and updated as your needs change and develop with these tools. So, all right, stand by, folks. We'll be back in just a minute with more of the Cattle Call Podcast. Today's Cattle Call Podcast is being brought to you by BricsCAD, the latest and greatest CAD software out there on the market today. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and the beauty of it is that BricsCAD allows you to use all of your current drawing files, all of the CAD commands and macros and features and Lisp routines and customizations and configurations that you've already developed, right? Without any transition. Your people can be up and running in BricsCAD in a matter of hours, right? So to help you make that transition here at Zentex, one of the things that we've done is we have actually created a Make the Move to BricsCAD program to help you move from your Autodesk-based platform over into BricsCAD with minimal time and risk and investment. And Rocco is going to tell you all about it. Rocco?
I'm going to tell you all about it. Well, there's a great deal of information that's available right on our website. It's zentechconsultants.net. You can reach out to us at sales@zentechconsultants.net or give us a call, 866-824-4459. But yeah, that's the core idea behind it, Jim. If you're an AutoCAD user and you're looking to make the move to BricsCAD, we're here to help make an easier transition for you. So check us out. Let us know how we can help you.
Perfect answer. BricsCAD, the smartest CAD system on the market today. All right, welcome back to the Cattle Call Podcast. And we're talking about Procore Analytics today. and why every construction company or developer or real estate company or anybody who works in Procore needs to at least think about getting this implemented into your daily workflow. And in this half, I want to talk about how to get yourself up and running with Procore Analytics, right? From getting it installed and operational up through how you can build custom reports. Now, look, as anybody who uses Procore can tell you, you can't do anything in that system without reaching out and asking your assigned Procore representative for help. Anything new that you want to use, you have to get it enabled for you to start, and the analytics package is no different. The good thing is that there are no costs, at least none that I'm aware of, to get the analytics tool operational on your account, right? You just ask your rep to enable it, and they can usually turn that around and have you up and running with it inside of a day. The really good thing is that when they do get this up and running for you, Procore does help out in this respect, in that they will also send you, it's a link to an entire cadre of Power BI reports. And I think at this point it's over 100 reports, right, that you can just connect to your Procore database and use right out of the box, right? And they're a great start point, and you should feel free to take those and rob from them and tweak them as you're building. And your Procore rep will also get you information on how to, log in and connect between your Power BI and Procore. It's mid-level hard to do that, but they give you some written instructions. And once you do that, right, once you've created that kind of bridge between the two programs, the visuals in those out-of-the-box reports that they give you will automatically start populating with your company's project data, right, instantly. And that's a really easy way, I think, to get started and to begin to see the possible permutations of the data that you can develop. Now, I will say this, right, that Procore isn't always all that great about supporting you beyond the initial setup of any of their modules. They have a reputation for throwing you some training links and a handful of videos and leaving it up to you to work through the rest. And that's where, Procore consultants, right, folks like Zentek come into play. But I'll talk more about that later on. So Rocco, how many of the people that we've talked to have actually tried to work the Procore Analytics tools themselves, and what kind of success did they have?
I can't say that I know of anybody who has, honestly. But again, if you've got the skill set and the time, hey, if we do it, I'm sure that there's other folks that can do it as well. It's just a matter of, again, the skill set and the time, and it's like everything else. You can build a house on your own. It might take you a while.
People have done it. Yeah, it just takes a while. Sometimes it's easier to just get the professionals to do it. And that's really the case. It's like anything else. It's if you're a larger firm and you've got really good IT guys and tech guys with real extensive tech and software backgrounds, they can handle it. It's just about freeing them up with the time to do it. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, despite my massive ego, there's nothing that we do here at Zentek that really is all that hard. Everything we do, anybody could do it. It's just you need to dedicate the time, like Rocco says. So here's what I will say, right? The thing to kind of understand about implementing Procore Analytics is that those out-of-the-box reports that you get from Procore probably aren't going to get you to where you want to go. They are fantastic and extensive, but they're really meant to be examples, right, that you can start to pick apart and then reassemble into custom structures. Right? That means you're going to have to either be comfortable or get comfortable working in Power BI, which is a bit of a learning curve. And you'll have to learn how to integrate and deploy those reports directly back into Procore, using kind of a back-end database link. And again, that's not an insurmountable task, right? Assuming, like Rocco said, that you're not already overwhelmed with work just running your daily construction jobs. Look, these Power BI graphics are really powerful, and they do some remarkable things, but it does require a specific skill set to get them working properly, even at a basic level. I tell people when I talk about it, compare learning Power BI to learning how to use a CAD system, right? That's something most of us can relate to. It's doable. There's nothing difficult about it, but it is going to require a big commitment of time and effort just to become good at it. And if you really want to get into the more advanced processes of customizing and configuring those visuals to your internal needs, it's going to take even more than that. Look, I've worked with folks at construction firms who are data analysts, and they have real good database skills, who have struggled pinning this down, right? And they need a little bit of help from an expert. Look, and I know, I'm sure at least one person out there listening right now is thinking, hey, if it's that complicated, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth the effort. And honestly, this is one time I'm just going to have to flat out disagree with you guys. It really is worth the time that you will put into this. The efficiency and the better decision-making capabilities that these visuals are going to provide, particularly to your financial and executive staffs, it's staggering. I have had, folks tell me just having their financials alone built into these visualizations has shaved 10% or more off of their entire annual budget. And look, for a good sized, general contracting firm, that is a staggering amount of money to pass up, because you're concerned about how hard it would be to learn and set up analytics. So, Rocco, the clients that we've worked with and built Procore Analytics for, what's been their feedback in terms of their, return on investment?
Oh, I mean, they wish that they had done it a heck of a lot sooner. It's huge. It helps them, like you're saying, with making more effective decisions and budgeting and just better organization all around. It's overall operations, from an overall operations standpoint. It's a huge help. So it was definitely worth the investment.
There you go. So when, for projects like this, right, for, implementing Procore Analytics, it really is best, right, if you don't have anybody who can do this, it's best to work with a consultant. Somebody who is an expert in both Procore and the construction project management side of things, right, as well as being good at the back end tech and having software capacity that you're going to need for the Power BI side. And look, honestly, for most construction firms, right, that blend of skills, it's almost impossible to come by. It really does require a specialty consultant who just kind of focuses on those areas. And, I know a great one that Rocco and I can recommend if you guys are wondering. It's called Zentech. Zentech. But no, I honestly, I do. I look at it like this. If you're going out and you're looking to get a Porsche, right, because you want to drive fast, you don't learn to be a mechanic and try to build it yourself, right? You go out and you buy the car from the dealer, right? And if you want to tweak your Porsche and make it even better and faster and sleeker and cooler, you work with a certified Porsche customization shop, right? This concept, it's no different, right? Don't try and reinvent the wheel here on your own. It's just, it can overwhelm your staff, and it's going to frustrate you, and it's going to cost way more time and way more money than it really needs to. And even then, I'll say, I still think it's worth it. If that's the route you go that route, just go all in on this. But I think if you go out and get yourself a qualified partner to work with you on the setup for Procore Analytics, it will be worth it, right? Even if you do not call us at Zentech, that's fine. I think that the concept of visual analytics is game changing for the construction world. And I really do wish that we were doing kind of a vidcast today instead of a podcast, so that I could show you guys, right, the graphics and what I'm really talking about. But to that end, I'm going to give Rocco the last word here today for once, with a question that will help you guys get a better understanding of what we're talking about. So, Rocco, what do we have on our website or anywhere else that people can hit up to learn more about Procore Analytics tools?
Well, because Jim likes, sleeping 7 nights a week between midnight and 6 a.m., we don't have anything on our website just yet, but it's
All right,
in
I'm a little
progress.
behind. Rocco works me too hard. I'm working on it. It'll be there soon.
I mean, 7 nights a week, he needs to sleep, people,
All right.
really?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I could probably skip like Monday through Wednesday.
No, but we'd be happy to set up a demo for you guys to talk you through it and show you obviously Procore Analytics, and there is certainly information on the Procore website as well. So definitely reach out to us in one way or another, and we will have information shortly on our own website because like we've been saying, we're seeing more and more interest. So reach out to us, zentechconsultants.net. Or sales@zentechconsultants.net, or even give us a call. What's our number? 866-824-4459.
The guy who lives all day on the telephone, he doesn't even know our number. Jeez. Why do I keep you as a partner? It's beyond me. Oh, yeah, because you do all the financial and legwork. That's why. All right, folks. I'll leave Rocco alone now. We're going to get out of here, and we will catch you next time on the Cattle Call Podcast. All right, everybody. Today's Cattle Call was brought to you courtesy of Zentech Consultants. That's Rocco and I. Zentech Consultants works with design and manufacturing firms to help our clients purchase and implement the software that they need in these complex industries. We provide a single point of contact for clients to buy, develop, and learn the most vital software systems for your specific needs. Zentech strives to be your trusted technology partner from your initial needs all the way through long-term support and training for your entire staff. So Rocco, why don't you tell them how to reach out to Zentech?
All right, yeah, you can reach out to us through zentechconsultants.net. You can email us at sales@zentechconsultants.net, or you can even call us 866-824-4459.
Excellent. We look forward to hearing from you all.